Hey everybody, GT here from GT's Barbecue. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. And if you're one of my returning subscribers, appreciate your support. Thanks for being here. Tonight I'm going to do my version of an authentic Philly cheesesteak sandwich. So I've done some research on this, and apparently for an authentic Philly cheesesteak, you have very few ingredients. You have ribeye steak, you have onions, and you have cheese, or not. So apparently the way these are ordered is you start with the cheese. So typically the cheese choices are going to be provolone or cheese whiz. So the way you would order is I'd like a provolone wit, means with onions, or I'd like a whiz wit, which means cheese whiz, or I would like a provolone or cheese whiz without. And that's pretty much it. That tells the guy behind the counter everything you need to know. This is the cheese I want onions or not, and the rest is history. So I know there's a lot of cheesesteak purists out there, so I'm gonna do my best. This is my take on it. I'm gonna use some French rolls. I'm not sure exactly what kind of rolls they use there, but I'm gonna do my best. So we're gonna get this thing out in the Blackstone here in a minute, so stay tuned. I'll get the meat prepped up and we'll see what we get. Okay, let's go over the ingredients we're going to use for this cook. I have a nice, it's about a 1.25, so a pound and a quarter ribeye steak. I got this at a meat market, and gosh, I think I paid about 25 bucks for it. So this was not a cheap piece of meat. Got some provolone cheese, got some cheese whiz, I have an onion, and I have some bread. That's all the ingredients we're going to need. I have had this steak in the freezer for about an hour to firm it up a little bit. It's nearly impossible to shave a raw steak as thin as I need it for this. So stay tuned. We'll come back here in a second and get this steak sliced up. Be right back. Okay, I'm gonna get started trimming this thing up. I think to start with, I'm just gonna take a little bit off of here. Get rid of some of this fat. Fat's good. I don't want too much though. And then for the steak itself, I'm going to leave this on here. And I'm just going to go along here and slice this off as thin as I possibly can. Just using a brisket knife here. I think an authentic cheesesteak, they'd probably cut it in longer strips, but that's really tough to do in a regular human's house and still make it as thin as you want. So this might even be thicker than you're gonna find, but I'm also gonna chop this up. I've seen them served with the long flat pieces, and I've also seen it chopped. So I'm gonna go with chopped. Okay, I've got our steaks cut into strips, and now we chop. I'm not going to turn this into ground beef by any means, but I just want to make it into some small chunks. Okay, so there you have it. A couple of chunks of pure fat in here I'm going to get rid of. But it's chunked up into little pieces. Not really fine. but not in big strips either. So that's the texture I'm looking for what I'm going to do today. So I'll get started on the onion here in a sec, and that's it for our ingredients. Stay tuned, I'll be right back. Okay, let's get our onion going here. From what I've seen, the general consensus is to do this in some fairly large chunks. There we have our onions. So stay tuned, I'm going to get the Blackstone fired up and we'll get this Philly cheesesteak started. Be right back. Okay, I'm going to get my onions down first. Just going to put a little bit of oil down. Like so. I do have my Blackstone set on low for this. And I have my 3 burners here on the left on low and the far one off. So we can move food over there as needed. Get our onions on. Okay, these onions are looking good. Starting to get a little brown, but that's okay. I'm going to move them over to the cool side of the griddle here so they can stay warm for a minute. And we'll get the meat on. Okay, just a little bit of oil, not a lot. I don't want this to be greasy. A little squirt, maybe a teaspoon. And let's get the meat on. As you can see, I've chopped this up about like so. And I'm just going to cook this till I don't see any more red. It's already getting close. In fact, I think it's close enough. I want to go ahead and add the onions back to the party at this point, so these flavors can mix together. You can see it's staying nice and juicy. If you add salt too soon, it's going to take some of that moisture out. So I want this juice to just continue to cook in. And while I'm here, I think it's about time to go ahead, move this over just a little bit. Go ahead and get our buns down for this. I just have a couple of French rolls I picked up at, I don't know, Safeway, I think. Not authentic, I know, so don't be a hater. Doing the best I can. It's my first time. Let's get those buns down. So I'm going to get down our buns. I do have a little mayo on here. Just get these browned up a bit. It's always good to push them down in the center. Helps them crisp up evenly. Boy, look how juicy that is. Not greasy at all. Holy moly. Does that look good? So both of these obviously are going to be with onions. So I can't imagine having one of these without, but I guess if you're at lunch and you're going to go back to work, you don't want onions. Doesn't mean you don't like them. Just means you're going to opt out. Okay, I'm calling that done. There's no more red in there. They're nice and juicy. I think it's a good time to go ahead and lightly season this. Just a little of my homemade salt, pepper, garlic, SPG. I'll put a link up above if you want to see how I do it. Cheese sauce is looking good. And I'm going to portion this up into 2 piles. Just about like that. And on pile number 1, let's go with some provolone. Pretty traditional. And again, you can do this with chopped steak, like I've done here, or you can do it with some bigger strips. This is how I've chosen to do it. This cheese is pretty thin, so I'm not even going to steam this. I'm just going to kind of let that sit there for a minute. Take a look at our buns here. Oh, they're looking perfect. Nice. Flip these over. Oh, does that look good or what? Now we're just going to take them like so, scooch them up, flip them over, and there we have Mr. Provolone. I'll take my meat here, put it on my roll, and on this one, I'm going to drizzle a little bit of my cheese whiz. About like that. I'm going to close them up like so. So here we have my take on an authentic Philly cheesesteak sandwich. This is the one with the provolone. I'm going to go ahead and slice this in half here. Oops. Like so. Wow, that smells good. And here's the one with the cheese whiz. Turn this around a little bit. So this would be the two ways you would order it, cheese whiz or provolone, and then either with or without onions. So I'm going to try to decide which one I like better. I think I'm going to try the provolone first. I think it's going to be a little easier on the palate. That cheese whiz is going to be a little bit stronger. I'm really glad I decided to chop that meat. It'd be a little harder to eat this if it was in bigger strips, but man, is that delicious. Basic onion, lightly seasoned meat, provolone cheese. I like the French roll. Okay, now let's try one with the cheese whiz. Honestly, if I was making this for myself, I'd probably have some green peppers in here, but this is the way they do it. Definitely more cheese forward. I taste that right away. And since I didn't season this meat much, I think I'm a whiz guy. Honestly, between the two, I love provolone, but I think I'm a whiz wit guy. So, big success, first time doing it. I'm pretty happy with both of these. They both taste delicious. The meat is perfect. Love the ribeye, love the rolls, love everything. So, thanks so much for watching. If you're so inclined, please like and subscribe. If you're a returning subscriber, thanks so much for the support. It really helps out the channel. And if it's your first time here, consider hitting that subscription button down below and the bell. So everybody stay safe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.